unfortunately found my way into a bit of a serious dilemma when it comes to the future of the go-kart that I currently own. Now, the big issue is that if I want to be able to go racing, I need to have a lot of things, but specifically for what's important for this video, what I need is a fuel tank that is big enough to be able to accommodate all the fuel that you would need to go for an entire race. And the big problem is, I have the biggest possible fuel tank that I can fit on my little Tony kart, and it is not even close to big enough. Not even close. So the fuel tanks that are recommended for when we actually go out racing, which I've been told about, I've been briefed on all this stuff, so I know all the like prerequisites on the kart that I need to be able to race. And one of the big ones is to have an 8-litre fuel tank. You wouldn't guess how many litres the fuel tank on the Tony kart right now has. Tony's fuel tank is 3.5 litres. It's not even half the fuel tank that is like the gold standard. That's like, you burn through pretty much half a tank by the end of the race. That's if you burn through half a tank, that's already too much for me. Even if it's a little bit less, I'm running on fumes by the time I cross the finish line, which is going to make me slow down. And I don't want to put my foot down and have less power because essentially the car is running on the fuel that's still in the carburetor because there's no fuel left in the tank. That's not exactly a situation I want to end up in. I've been there in practice when we've just forgot to fill up the tank to the amount that we usually do, with like a little bit lower. We've done that every now and then, and we've come back and brought the kart back in at the end of the session. Everything seemed fine, and then we looked at the fuel tank and it was completely empty. So I was genuinely I was running on the fuel from the carburetor to finish that last bit of that session. That wouldn't even make it to the end of a race. So I've got a bit of a problem there. And the thing that makes that an actual big dilemma is the fact that that's the biggest fuel tank I can fit on Tony right now. I say right now, at all. There's no modifications. You're not allowed to make significant, or even as far as I'm aware, even any real modifications, significant modifications to the kart. And the modifications that I would need in order to fit an 8-litre fuel tank would be essentially to change the entire anatomy of the steering arm. So instead of the steering arm just being sort of like, it's sort of goes like that, it would have to be more curved, which is going to be really weird. I would go as far as to say the steering arm may not even work if we did that. So we've got some problems here. So essentially what this dilemma is leading up to is the fact that I can't take Tony into a race, which isn't great because that means now I don't have a kart to race. But then what does that mean if I want to make it to my first race, which is at the end of March? What does that mean for me? That means I have to spend almost double the amount that I spent for the engine to buy a whole last new go-kart. So just for the 8-litre fuel tank. Because I can't put it on Tony. No matter how hard I try, no matter how you spin it, it will not fit. And the fuel tanks, they don't supply any other fuel tanks. I don't even know I don't even remember where I got the 3.5 one from. Not as my dad. We don't even remember how we ended up with the 3.5. It was just like the last one on the shelf or something, and we picked it up. I don't even remember how we ended up with that. But all the racing cars, every single one of them, has an 8-litre fuel tank. I don't even have half that. That is a massive problem, and it means that I literally can't race. I am unable to compete with Tony. And that means that I'm going to have to buy a completely new go-kart, build it from the ground up all over again, just like I did, which is great that I did it once already, because now I've got the knowledge, so I can do it faster this time. That's a really big advantage. That's one of the best things, like the single best thing about buying an old kart that's in really bad shape and doing it up yourself and getting your hands dirty and like free labor basically. You're not being charged any labor costs because you're doing it yourself, and labor is really expensive. But even anyway, like just the experience you get is pretty much invaluable. Like it's the sort of thing like people charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like people charge like $150, $200 an hour, and you could just be doing it right now, learning it yourself. You know. And so because I've already been there and done that, admittedly it was a while ago, but it's like the things I've had to take off and replace every now and then, now that the kart's looking a lot better, means that I'm in a better spot to essentially like, I can do everything quicker now, is what I'm trying to say. I can do everything faster, and I know the kart inside and out, at least I know Tony inside and out. I've got all the parts all good, and I'm very, very familiar with them, and it's I can do repairs very, very quickly, and I can replace things very quickly. So that is going to some level, like the fundamental basics will bleed over to the new kart. The only thing is that Tony is a 2014 chassis, and obviously buying a new chassis, that's 2026. There's a lot of changes in that time. 12 years brings a lot of changes, and don't even get me started on how long that is, because I'm not even that old. I'm not even 20, and I still feel old saying 2014 was 12 years ago. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on how fast time goes. Look, essentially the problem is that I can't race with the kart I have right now, which means that it's what is it, like the middle or towards the end of February now? I think it's more towards the middle of February. I don't check the dates on the calendar very often. I just check on what do I have that day. I don't really check the dates very often. I like the calendar app on my phone. I just check the stuff that's there. I don't care about the date. But yeah, anyway, so the point basically, I think it's about halfway through February. So I have essentially just over a month, pretty much. If it's halfway through, if it's towards the end, I have exactly a month. So essentially at the best, I've got a little bit of like a month and a week, basically. At best, I've got a month and a week until the first race. And I need to have this new go-kart ready to go, race prepped and ready to go, better than Tony's ever been his entire life, basically, in the span of a month, and I don't even own it yet. I haven't even bought it yet. So, also because it's so expensive, it's like I said, it's like double the cost of the engine, and the engine was really like that was a tough purchase because of how expensive that was. The kart, holy smokes, it's like literally double the amount. So, I mean, and what really is very, very funny is that karting is the cheapest form of motorsport in the world. And this year I've spent already, once I purchased the go-kart, I've already spent, 5-digit numbers. Just this 1 year. And I've barely bought many new parts. I haven't done a huge amount with that. It's mainly like all the stuff. Oh my goodness, it's so much. So, yeah. Essentially, I just want to wrap this up because I'm just talking and talking and talking. So just to wrap it up, I can't race Tony because the fuel tank's not big enough, and that means that literally just because of wanting a bigger fuel tank, the only solution is to buy a new kart to put the new fuel tank in, and that's really expensive, but I'm going to have to do it if I want to race. I have to do it. I've got no choice on the matter. So, yeah, it's something that I'm going to go ahead with, and I'll just kiss my money goodbye because it's all going to be gone. But it's all right. It's all for the love of the sport, so it's well worth it in the end. That's the thing that keeps me going, despite the fact that I'm spending such huge amounts of money. At the end of the day, it's for the love of the sport, and as someone who's been sort of doing like casual racing stuff for my entire life and has really been started to get competitive now and taking it like really seriously now instead of more of just like playing realistic games and revolving my whole life around cars, racing cars, motorsport, all that. like revolving my life around it. I've done that, like I just said, for my entire life. But and so for the love of the sport has been most of my life, basically, or pretty much all of it. But actually taking it so seriously that I'm starting to try and get a career out of it, and I'm starting to go actually going competitive this year, like I've already said before. That's a first step for me, and I'm really really excited about that. But yeah, it's expensive, and at the end of the day, it's when all your money is just being flushed down the toilet, seemingly, because that's how fast it goes away. Look, at the end of the day, it's for the love of the sport, and so because of that, it's still, yeah, it's huge amounts of money, but I get to go out and race a go-kart, and I get to have an absolute cracking time. It's so much fun. So, to me, personally, even though it's a ridiculous amount of money for me to spend at this point, I'm not even 20 yet, it's worth it. It's worth it. So yeah, that's really about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everybody.